Good evening. Thanks for joining us for ARC Salt Lake. I'm Jamie McGriff. It's Wednesday, February 25th, and a little later to Utah Mammoth celebrations. Well, they're celebrating their captain and his gold medal from the USA hockey team's Olympic win. First, we're going to go back to Park City for the murder trial of Kouri Richins. It was a short day at the Summit County Courthouse. The judge sent the jury home after just 1 hour of testimony from the lead crime scene technician. Our Brian Schnee was there and has this update tonight.
A very quiet afternoon in Summit County, Utah, because court was dismissed relatively early this morning. Judge Richard Mrazek heard about an hour of testimony from Chelsea Gibson, the lead crime scene technician there that had been on the stand the day before. But Mrazek took a scheduled break around 9:30 this morning. He called it a scheduling conflict, said it would last about an hour. When he came back about 10:45, he actually just dismissed the jury and the person that was on the witness stand and both parties and everybody in the courtroom for the day, citing unforeseen circumstances. Here is the judge talking to members of the jury.
Between now and then, same instructions. Please do not speak about this case with anyone. Please do not allow anyone to speak about the case to you. Please do not read, listen to, or watch any reports about this case from any source. You just have to affirmatively avoid those things. Please don't do any searches on the internet about this case at all. Thank you for your patience. Please travel safe. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m.
So everything gets going here tomorrow, Thursday, at 8:30 a.m. That means Chelsea Gibson, who has been introducing a lot of evidence and talking to both sides about the investigation and how that went with photographing the scene and looking through the home that belonged to Kouri and Eric back on March 4th, 2022, and then going back to serve a search warrant, she will have to take the stand 3 days in a row. The defense had their first opportunity to cross-examine Chelsea Gibson today. Here is some of that dialogue.
And did you open the drawers and photograph what was in the drawers of the nightstand?
I don't believe so, no.
Were you aware at that point that a hydrocodone bottle had been removed from one of the drawers?
I didn't know where it had come from, and it was taken with the decedent.
Okay. So you did not take the hydrocodone bottle into your custody?
No.
Did you open it and photograph the inside of it?
I believe that was OME sessions.
Okay. So you can't testify whether there were pills in it or not at the time?
No, I cannot.
So the defense has done a really nice job, in at least what we've seen here, trying to pick apart how the evidence was gathered, finding gaps in some of those things, finding things perhaps that maybe they did not do to convince the jury of certain things not being done in relation to what had been collected. Meanwhile, the prosecution focusing on fentanyl, focusing on poisoning. We have a long way to go in this trial. Day 3 shortened, likely not as planned. Obviously, that will have to be made up somewhere. We'll see if things speed back up here on Thursday for day 4 of the Kouri Richins trial in Summit County. Reporting from Park City, here on ARC Salt Lake, I'm Brian Schnee.
In a trial this high profile, every move is being watched, not just the testimony, but Richenson's expressions, her body language, even her clothing choices. As 2 News' Liv Kelleher reports, her daily choices will have an impact on the jury.
Unintentionally or intentionally, how a defendant appears speaks before they do. Malynda Ruth is a jury consultant and body language expert with Magna Legal Group.
Nonverbals are where we see truth. You can say anything you want, right? But your body will eventually speak the truth.
She says jurors are instructed to only consider facts in the case, but to interpret a defendant's appearance or their reaction is only human.
They're looking at the defendant and trying to judge authenticity You know, is this a trustworthy person?
Ruth says a few things have stood out to her. Kouri's consistent pulled back hairstyle, her doe-like eyes, and her tendency to rest her hand on her chin.
She has to be careful with this because it can elevate you, making you seem like you're somewhat above because your chin is up.
In opening statements, the prosecution characterized Kouri as an affluent and savvy businesswoman who was motivated by greed.
Characteristics being thrust upon you by the prosecution, how do you fight against those with your appearance?
Right. You need to appear humble. You've got to appear approachable.
She says dress adds to that, like the soft cardigan and light color palette she wore today.
She looks meek. She looked meek to me anyway. Not polished, not somebody that I would assume is like a, cutthroat with business or just, not necessarily a victim, but definitely this is a mom in your community.
While the case will ultimately come down to evidence and testimony, experts say first impressions and lasting ones are being formed every single day inside the courtroom. Ruth also told me that defendants tend to be most conscious of their appearance in the first few days of the trial, but as proceedings continue on and fatigue sets in, controlling that image can get a little bit more difficult. Now, the jurors have been instructed to only make their decisions based on the facts in the case, but as we've seen, physical appearance and outward expression, body language can be difficult to completely ignore. Reporting in Summit County, Liv Kelleher, KUTV 2 News.
We will have a team at the trial every day for the coming weeks, and to get the most up-to-date information, you can download the 2 News mobile app. On top of that, we have been covering this case for nearly 3 years, and you can find all of our previous reports on KUTV.com. Turning to other news that's happening, the FDA is warning a substance 13 times more potent than morphine is threatening to be the next wave of the opioid epidemic. Yet that substance, we're talking about 7-0, continues to be sold over the counter at gas stations and vape shops in most states across the country. And tonight, Spotlight on America's Dwayne Pullman investigates 7-0, the push to make it illegal, and a debate on pulling it from shelves.
This man is an addict.
I'll always be an addict.
Stigma, he says, prevents him from showing his face. For 2 decades, he's battled to break free from drugs, including opioids.
Pills. First pills, yep.
And heroin.
Do you still have the lines?
I do.
Scars?
Mm-hmm.
But none of those drugs, he says, is more powerful or more addictive than this, 7-OH, scientifically known as 7-hydroxymitragynine. A highly concentrated and potent derivative of kratom that, according to the FDA, is 13 times more potent than morphine. Yet, in many states, it's still sold as pills or infused in drinks and candy, over the counter at gas stations, convenience stores, and vape shops.
Right, I can pick it up on my way into work. How bad could this really be?
He says it took over his life.
I felt a full-blown opiate effect from it.
How much money were you spending?
$200 a day.
On 7-OH?
Mm-hmm.
You were addicted to 7-OH.
It was harder to get off of than shooting IV heroin.
In July, at a news conference in Washington, Health and Human Services, FDA, and DEA all seemed to be on the same page.
Scientifically, by definition, it's opioid.
The requested DEA to classify 7-OH as a Schedule I controlled substance, the same classification as heroin.
Let's not allow another wave of the opioid epidemic to catch us blindsided.
8 months later, DEA has not yet announced a decision. Dr. Matthew Rosheim, an associate professor at the University of North Texas Health Science Center in Fort Worth, led a team that conducted a survey of stores, publishing in this study that kratom products are widely available throughout the U.S.
Does that surprise you?
Absolutely, yes. It surprises me with how widely available it is, considering it's so hazardous.
13 states and the District of Columbia did not wait on the feds, enacting their own bans. Dr. Jeff Singer, a surgeon and senior fellow at the Cato Institute, a prominent libertarian think tank, does not agree with banning kratom and 7-OH, saying making them illegal may do more harm than good.
all you're going to do is make the people who are still getting it have to go underground to get it.
That's already happening, the addict says, where 7-OH is being banned.
They're addicted to it. They have no idea what to do.
Still, he supports bans and making 7-OH illegal across the country.
Nothing like that should be available at a gas station.
For Spotlight on America, I'm Dwayne Pullman.
And the story is just the start of Spotlight on America's focus on 7-OH and Kratom. And in the coming weeks, we will be taking a closer look at the growing number of states that have passed bans to prevent one or both of them from being sold. Coming up on ARC Salt Lake, Utah Mammoth forward Clayton Keller back from his gold medal win with Team USA. What he told reporters about his Olympic experience.
Here with us tonight is a group of winners who just made the entire nation proud. The men's gold medal Olympic hockey team. Come on in.
Members of the USA's men's hockey team, they were recognized at last night's State of the Union address for winning the gold medal at the Olympics for the first time since 1980. Utah Mammoth team captain Clayton Keller was on the team, and now he's back here in Utah after a wild couple of weeks in Milan. Following his gold medal win, he and the USA men's hockey team made some stops in Miami, Florida and Washington, D.C. Today, Keller spoke with members of the press about the big win ahead of his first game back at the Delta Center tonight.
When you look back on this experience decades from now, what are the things that'll stand out the most when you remember it?
Oh man, I think so many things, but I think like the brotherhood of that team and like how, you know, we did everything together. Like it seems like in the village, you know, everyone's door was always open. Like just, you know, it had that feeling about the team, and you know, it was something that you know you want to be a part of, and you want to, you know, win with a group like that, because you know that's something that you know will last a lifetime. I'm sure we'll have, you know, reunions and get-togethers and lots of parties from it. So yeah, super cool.
What do you think young Keller would think about being on the first USA team to win gold in 46 years?
I don't know. It's a good question. Like I've always dreamed big and expected big things out of myself. So, you know, to see some of them come true is super special, and like you know, writing everything down as a young kid, you know, paid off, and you know, it's super cool, and you know, I'm still more motivated than ever, and you know, it's you enjoy it, and then you know, you want to do it again, you want to win, you want to be a part of a winning team, and so I'm looking forward to it.
With wins for USA Hockey on both the men's and women's side, what does that do for young kids that are you know, looking for inspiration growing up?
Yeah, I think it, you know, inspires the next wave of hockey players. Maybe, you know, kids that, you know, don't play hockey might get into it now. And, you know, I remember all the memories of watching it as a kid, you know, looking up to those guys. Obviously the TJ Oshie moment is pretty cool. Watching Miracle, like to have something like, you know, recently is amazing, and it's going to do so many good things, and it's special for sure. And like I said, thankful to be a part of it.
A new alert system for missing vulnerable adults is one step closer to becoming law here in Utah. It's called a Purple Alert, designed to bridge the gap between Amber Alerts for children and Silver Alerts for seniors. Supporters say that it would send targeted notifications when someone with conditions like autism go missing, helping law enforcement and the public respond faster. The push comes after a Utah mother spent 22 days searching for her adult son.
Do you feel that if this had been in place, that would have helped your case?
I really do. I think I really do.
Tonight at 10, 2 News investigates how the proposed system would work and why backers believe it could save lives. All right, let's talk about what's happening outside with our meteorologist Chase Thomason in that first alert forecast.
Our storm is now moving out of the state, but it dropped some pretty decent rain, mainly for northern Utah, though, especially those mountain valleys picking up 1 to 2 inches of rain. Look at Eden, just under 2 inches, in Park City, close to 1 inch. It's a very mild storm with those high snow levels, but we got a little bit of snow, especially above 8,500 feet. The Wasatch Front picking up about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch of rain at the airport here in Salt Lake City, 5,300, so one of our bigger storms of the month. State snowpack did increase with that heavy, wet snow. Not a lot, but by about 1%. We'll take the moisture. We just need a lot more coming our way to get that closer to average. Temperatures, though, still feeling more like spring. Yesterday we hit 60, today 62 degrees, which is well above average for this time of year, even close to a record high, which is 68 degrees. Now, the storm is pushing out of the region. We still have a little bit of moisture left over, and we have some isolated showers out there. They're going to linger throughout the night, so don't be surprised if you're driving maybe up Parleys or up into the mountains. There could be a sprinkle or a flurry. They're going to be very hit or miss and very isolated in central and northern Utah, but that drier air continues to push in overnight into tomorrow morning. Your morning commute will be dry statewide, and definitely more sunshine tomorrow afternoon across the state. We'll call it mostly sunny to partly cloudy. Now, temperatures will be running still above average. Lows right around 40 degrees along the Wasatch Front. Still got to bundle up, have that jacket if you have any evening plans. Closer to freezing in those mountain valleys, mid-30s through central Utah, and tonight St. George, you're at 47 degrees. Now, tomorrow, we're kind of back into the mid to upper 50s for a good chunk of northern Utah. We'll likely see some more 60s near I-70 and across central Utah. And St. George is very mild into the upper 70s tomorrow. Now, the overall pattern still looks mild, but there are a few storms in the forecast. You'll notice that the storm is kind of coming from the west to southwest. This is our next weather maker. It arrives later in the weekend, but the biggest impacts might be on Monday. It does look like it could linger into Tuesday morning, though, and we'll likely see some valley rain and mountain snow. Big question, though, will southern Utah get it? Right now, I'm leaving the forecast dry for St. George. So this is noon on Saturday. We'll have more clouds over the weekend and maybe a few sprinkles ahead of the storm, but the main event won't arrive until Sunday night. We'll have some light rain for northern Utah, more scattered showers Monday morning, and then by Monday afternoon and evening, that's when the storm begins to roll into Utah. It has that upper level lift that we need to get these showers going, so that's our best chance for some valley rain, mountain snow. Looks like snow levels might be staying pretty high with this one, around 8,000 feet. Lingering showers into Tuesday and then a break as we head into your Wednesday, but there's another storm behind that one. Now, St. George, upper 70s, close to 80. No rain in your forecast. We'll call it partly cloudy each day with temperatures about 15 degrees above average. Just a slight dip in those temperatures early next week into the low 70s. Salt Lake in northern Utah, mid-50s tomorrow, close to 60 on Friday. It's a spring-like forecast with these temperatures well above average. And then we have a little bit of rain coming our way at times. Won't be a complete washout. Late Sunday into Monday into Tuesday morning. Wednesday, we're at 61, but notice on your +2, that's our next storm. It looks a little bit colder with rain and snow showers with highs near 50.
Coming up on ARC Salt Lake, why a high school dance that was canceled is now being put back on.
Two News wants to see how you celebrate 250 years of amazing America. Scan the QR code or go to KUTV.com/chime in. Click Submit Content and pick Amazing America 250 from the drop-down. Whether it's your favorite monument, your favorite park, around the state, or around the country, we want to see and share whatever makes you proud to be American. Thank you for being a part of 2 News and Amazing America 250.
Well, after students pushed back, Granger High School says that they're rescheduling last weekend's canceled dance. The school originally pulled the plug on the party because of low ticket sales, and now Granger says students have started to pick up the tempo with more interest and excitement, so the dance is back on. They say that they will shuffle the schedule, work around other dates like prom, and find a new time that doesn't step on anyone's toes. Granger says the rescheduled dance will be free, so everyone can hit the floor without missing a step. The Salt Lake County Council just unanimously approved plans for a new library in West Valley City. The project will be a partnership with Ballet West. Plans call for a 2-story library on the site of the West Valley branch's current location near Granger High. The second floor will include Academy Studios for the ballet, plus a black box theater. Right now, the county is trying to find an architectural firm for the project. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us. We have had quite a day, plenty of news, and of course, as always, we will be here same time, same place. We hope to see you again tomorrow night.